Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Venice Indians football postgame show tonight from the Preserve at Northport High School. Doug Miles along with Rich Spedaliere. We saw a very impressive performance once again by the Venice Indians as they defeat the Bobcats 41-14. And Rich, even though it wasn't a district game tonight, this game always has some great rivalry meaning between these two schools.
It sure does, and it showed. There's no question about it. There are several players that play and hang out with each other in the off-season and even during the season, and it showed tonight. The Bobcats defense was keyed in on Terry Polk, and he had 125 yards, but he worked for every single one of them tonight. But also Cale Utze, that opened things up for him, and he had a fantastic game at quarterback.
Yeah, after rushing for over 250 yards last week and 4 touchdowns in the first half, Terry Polk got a bit of a rude awakening tonight, but he did kind of put it together. It was held to really 1 or 2 yard carries in the first half, then started to get the rhythm going and got 4 and 5 yard carries the rest of the way, finished up with 28 carries, 125 yards, but still managed 3 touchdowns. And Cale Utze really had a tremendous game tonight. Ran for 180 yards on 12 carries. 1 touchdown pass tonight, a 51-yarder to Kapinski in the second quarter, and ran for 2 more, and one of those was a big 75-yarder in the first quarter.
Yeah, that 75-yarder was big because Northport had stolen the momentum, had gotten a touchdown, led 7-0, and really we saw the start of, was stop Terry Polk. They stopped him big time, and Cale Utze was able on a 3rd down play to get the sidelines, and he was gone, and that basically turned the game around. That got Venice right back in it, and they rolled from there, basically.
Northport had at least some life, at least it looked like they may have some life. They had the ball deep in Venice territory late in the third quarter, came down to a 4th down and short, and Venice defense held. It kind of sealed the game for the Indians tonight. The defense played very well. A little sloppy at the beginning by both teams, some fumbles and a couple of penalties, but I guess overall not a bad defensive performance by Venice tonight, but it's going to be a whole different story next Friday.
Well, if you're listening to the broadcast at halftime, John Massoni during the Big Daddy's Burger Den coach's comments pretty much said that Larry Shannon, the defensive coordinator of the Indians, peeled the paint off the off the walls. Basically was very upset, especially with some shoddy tackling, and really on 2 of Northport's long plays there was some very poor tackling, and the Indians surely got that much better in the second half. And that play you talk about, those 2 plays, 3rd and 1.5 yards, and then 4th and less than 1 yard, and the Venice defense stopped them on both occasions. The tackling was sure, and the ball carrier actually went backwards. They didn't have any, spots where you would think, oh, it would fall forward. And I think that's where the message got sent, and the defense pitched a shutout in the second half.
And let's give credit and kudos to Dom Fonte tonight. He had, by our count, 3 sacks and a bunch of hurries, a bunch of rushes on the quarterback, and really broke through from whoever was blocking him tonight. Really, nobody could contain him.
He was a man-child, and he also had a 2-point catch on a 2-point conversion. So Dom did it both ends of the field tonight. He was by far the best defensive player on the field.
We mentioned next week it's going to be a whole other story. That's because the #1 team, not only in the area but in the country, Manatee, the Hurricanes, come to Powell Davis Stadium, and for a big, huge district matchup, will determine the district champion. Going to be a lot of people down in Venice. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. It
will be. You've got to get your tickets early if you want to go, and if you can't make it, we encourage you to listen to the broadcast on the Spitz Sports Network, spitzonsports.com. Our coverage will begin at 7:20 with the countdown to kickoff show.
Venice record now 5-1, 1-0 in the district. Northport drops to 3 up, 4 down, 0-1 in their district record. Final score once again from Northport tonight: the Venice Indians 41, the Northport Bobcats 14. For Rich Spedaliere, this is Doug Miles saying we'll see you next week from Venice against the #1 team in the country, the Manatee Hurricanes.